Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I couldn't get my computer up and running for some reason today. Hey Nate, how you doing? Senator, how you doing? Off world, what's up? Let's see. All right. So let's see if this actually works today. Of course not. You'd have thought after last week they would have fixed their streaming issues. So I'll keep trying to get on here. It's just hilarious. So, um, oh, no worries. If we're allowed to do it again. First, I couldn't get my computer running. Now, of course, you can't get that episode running. Uh, Please try again. See if you're connected to the internet. If I wasn't connected to the internet, I wouldn't be able to see your little note that says I'm not on, that you're not on the internet. Man. All right. See you later, Sandro. We might try for another 10 or 15, and then we might call it quits again, which sucks. Um, it's annoying that this is happening again. But so, what's everybody up to who's actually here? Uh, not sleeping. Yes, I actually think she might be. I think that it's actually been Agatha who's been controlling most everybody and causing them pain, um, and only kind of giving the illusion that uh, Wanda's doing it, or making them think that Wanda's doing it. Try again every few seconds. Oh, I at least got a little Disney Plus logo this time. Hey, okay, I'm just going to let this run now because it's on. I'm on previously on WandaVision. I'm not going to touch it. We're up, we're running. So they're doing the, previously stuff. They're showing everything from Age of Ultron up. I know I'm 30 seconds or so behind you guys. So any major revelations, I won't say, but we'll go from there. Okay, so we're now up to the Marvel logo, which I will mute before we get hit with the copyright thing. Oh, I love this logo. I wish they'd do something cool like this for Star Wars. That stupid head color change thing is just dumb. Oops, that may have been enough. We'll have to see. Ooh, the Marvel Universe logo changed to purple. Oh, here now. Here's the flashback we're gonna get for. Yep, this is Agatha's backstory. Um, and so we're getting a flashback to Salem. Oh,
Agatha Harkness, are you a witch? Yes, I am a witch. Yet you have betrayed your covenant. You stole knowledge above your age and station.
and so basically, she's being tried by her coven
Enough! Deception!
for supposedly stealing
Did not break.
knowledge.
It simply bent to my power. Wait. No, I cannot control it. I. Open you with me, please. Help me, please. Mother, please, please. Mother. Moors, monster, natural. Moors, monster, natural.
Zapping her with quite a bit of power. I don't know if this is their version of burning her at the stake. Um, I get the feeling they probably shouldn't have done this. Ooh. She's basically absorbing all of their life energy. This is pretty cool. Mm. Her mom was the one who was torturing her, and basically she just sucked all the power and all the life out of her entire coven, which could explain why she's been alive since um, 1663. Now we're back to normal time.
She does look shocked to look at real husband. Oh, that's adorable. My thoughts are not available.
They, yes, they did seem to cast her because she's very kind of witchy.
Yourself a migraine. You've got work to do. Where are my children? Where are my children? Woo! That accent. Real comes and goes. Doesn't it? Where are they?
Oops.
The magic's no good here.
Want to try to use her powers, and she can't.
Didn't you notice? Basic protection stuff? Want to be cool? No? Nothing? These are rules, Wanda. In a given space, only the witch that casts the runes can use her magic. How do you not know the fundamentals? Who are you? All those costumes and hairstyles?
Hey, Jurassic, how you doing?
Wait. True self. I got close to fake Pietro. Nice. That was you. No, it wasn't literally me. Just my eyes and ears. The Christology possession. Necromancy was a non-starter since your forefather's body is on another continent. Not to mention your fools. But you're so crippled by your own self-doubt that you believe it. Oh, my. I sensed this place. The afterglow. So many spells cast all at once. I couldn't make heads or tails of it.
Oh,
Mindful. A classic. Quick incantation in the people's psyche. You're good to go. Thousands of people under your thumb. All interacting with each other.
see you later, Jurassic.
Like that storyline? Wow, that's something special, baby. And of course, there's transmutation. Years of study to achieve even this.
I guess this is going on about how the magic seems to work.
Rescue through your lens.
It doesn't understand how Wanda can do it without all the years of practice.
Every little detail is played. Down to the crown molding. You're even running illusion miles away at the edge of town. Magic on autopilot. What's your secret, sister? Listen, I need you to hate my back. I need you to tell me how. I didn't tell you before. I tried to be gentle.
She wants Wanda to explain how she does magic without actually trying. She thinks she's actually a witch. She doesn't understand that she doesn't really understand how her magic works.
What was it you said to your not brother? Huh? All could recall was the feeling you felt empty, alone, nothingness. Let's start there. His son playing with him for a while, wasn't he?
She's doing a spell to open up a sealed door.
Time to look at some meal they brought.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's go. forget who's got your children stashed away in the bewitched basement. That's right.
He's going to show Wanda her childhood. This is a typical flashback episode of a TV show, done very creepy.
Love the Cold War better. Why are we here? Wow, isn't it?
You said the only rule of TV night is we try to practice our English.
Yes, right. We were just making
So they're
but let's do it.
doing a flashback showing that her father came back from trips with boxes of DVDs showing classic series that in this timeline weren't available on DVD, so they'll pick that apart. But so the TV night was how they learned how to speak English, and so to learn how to speak English properly was sitting and watching Bewitched and I Love Lucy and Malcolm in the Middle and the Addams Family, and hilarious that all these are IPs and none of them are owned by Disney. Around here sometime, I'm sure. Yep, there's the.
This is your pick, yes?
And they're working their way through the Dick Van Dyke Show.
The walnut episode. Отличный вид.
Yes, Bob and Laura have for the most fun tonight. What is shenanigans again? Shenanigans. What problem?
Unfortunately, I think this is where they're going to show Stark's bomb. They're going to be watching Dick Van Dyke, and Stark's bomb will come in and take them out, take her family out. Oops, I got to keep the song down. But they're just having a nice family TV night, and then their world will come crashing down in a minute. It just shows Wanda super happy, like this is the happiest she is when she spends the time with her boom. The rest of the story we kind of know. That's why we're here. Is her and Pietro survive this explosion. And there it is, Stark Industries. Pietro wants to leave, but Wanda says they can't leave because if they try to leave, the bomb will explode. Somehow the TV is still running. Still showing the Dick Van Dyke Show.
It just never went off. It was defective. We didn't know that. We were trapped. For how long? 2 days.
They're stuck in the rubble for 2 days, waiting for Stark's bomb to go off.
I guess you were safe with kittens the whole time. So what I see here is a baby witch, dead from syphilis, and years of therapy.
Doesn't explain your recent height. Where'd you get the big gun for? I don't know if I can. Let's keep it aside. The only way forward is back.
And so now we're going to see them being taken to have the experiments done on them that we saw at the end of I don't really remember what that was. Thor?
The rebellious years. Quick question. Your reaction to the bombing of your civilian apartment building parents was to join an anti-freedom terrorist organization. Realize
Agatha points out that joining Hydra probably was not a good idea if she was trying to, avenge her family and not, be a horrible person. So now we see that she's being exposed to the stone that was inside Loki's
Begin experiment.
saber.
Doctor, with respect, not one subject has survived direct contact.
So I think they're basically going to say that Wanda already had some sort of innate power before, and it was simply enhanced. Because the stone is approaching her and glowing, and the Hydra guys are like, well, this hasn't happened before. She's the first person who's ever survived an encounter with it. Much like we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, when somebody is exposed to it, the stone tries to kill them, but it doesn't kill her. It just seems to infuse her with power. And in her cell, she's watching the Brady Bunch episode with Mrs. Nesbitt. So she's still learning English, still getting these influences from television.
Makes no sense. What happened?
Almost like the stone chose her to empower her.
So, little orphan Wanda got up close and personal with an
Now we're at what looks like Avengers headquarters.
So where are we now? The Avengers conference.
And she's watching Malcolm in the Middle.
And this is from WandaVision. Take her with that. How does it in the country? How does it in Agent?
I apologize. I don't mean to intrude.
You don't?
Well, I suppose, yes, I did intend to come in here. Well, whatever is your preference.
Her and Vision are having a conversation. Maybe their first TV night. Vision's probably never seen Malcolm in the Middle.
It was funny because the grief is injury behind yourself.
Not really.
And Vision's trying to figure out why Malcolm in the Middle is funny, which a lot of us did back in the day.
Oh, right. We presume to know what you're feeling. But I would like to know. Should you wish to know, should you do so? Comfort to you. Oh, see, I read that.
The only thing that would bring me comfort is saying
So this is after Age of Ultron, of course. She's trying to get over the loss of her brother. Vision's trying to talk her through it, but
it's just like this way you're blushing for me again and again. It knocks me down, and when I try to stand up, it just comes from me again. And how do you know?
Well, because you can't live me, so, okay? I've always been alone, so I don't feel the lack. So like that moment.
she's trying to explain sorrow to Vision, and Vision is saying, well, it's not all sorrow. You can remember the good times.
Love, persevere. Oh. Sorry.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was very funny, wasn't
Oh, they're Netflixing and chilling.
So to recap, parents dead, brother dead, Vision dead. What happened when he wasn't there to pull you back from the darkness, Wanda? I can't do this anymore. Come on, Wanda. You're on the precipice. You're right
She's
there. Tell me how you did it.
Agatha's like being a counselor.
Let's go.
She's making her face her own decisions. Oh, now we're going to go to Sword headquarters.
I know you have him.
I'm sorry, but like I said,
Please.
there's
Please. When I came back, he was gone. His body. And I know it's
She's trying to talk to a security officer. The poor security officer is trying to tell her no, she can't go see Vision. And I think that's out of his scope of work.
Yeah, she's still here. Through the doors.
Let's see.
Left and right.
This episode,
1 moment. I have to buzz you in.
I got it. Thanks.
33 minutes, maybe. It's 38 minutes, but it's got all the credits and stuff at the front, of course, and the before, previously on WandaVision. So it's about the same length. I'd say it's a little slightly longer, and it looks like there is an after credit scene. I kind of just flashed over it for a second.
Director Tyler Hayward, I understand you're here to see the Vision, to recover the body, that is that right? I understand. I'd like to show you something.
And then you give them to me.
Please, just come with me.
She broke into Sword, is talking to Hayward, and she says she's coming to claim his body because she's his next of kin. And Hayward is, now showing her.
What is this? Why are you showing me this?
The body.
You asked to see it.
They're basically doing an autopsy on him.
What are you doing?
You're dismantling the most sophisticated sentient weapon ever made.
Vision's not a weapon. You can't do that.
In fact, it is our legal and ethical obligation.
I just want to bury him. That's all I want.
Are you sure?
Excuse me.
Not everyone has the kind of power that can bring their soulmate back over. Forgive me. Back to life.
But I can't do that. It's not why I'm here.
Okay. I cannot allow you to take $3 billion worth of vibranium just to put it in the home.
Sword won't give her the body because
Best I
they're
can do is let you
basically
see
going to
the body.
disassemble him for the vibranium.
He's not paying.
Well, that's just it, Wanda. He isn't yours.
Hayward was always a dick and should have known better than to push. And so now Wanda is going to take the body, as we've previously seen in the other episodes. So this is why Hayward's dealing with her the way he is, because
Fine. Let her speak for herself.
she just really wanted to say goodbye, and she wanted to bury him, have some sort of closure. It's kind of sad. She's desperately trying to reach in and find some semblance of anything left of Vision. But he's just a pile of circuits and vibranium now. So she's leaving. Did Wanda drive here? Yes. never thought about superheroes who can actually fly using cars for some reason. And she drives to Westview, which is kind of this rundown town in Jersey. Not the colorful place it is in her imagination. And she sees Westview as a city that's also lost, depressed. We see everybody from the other episodes going about their jobs when they have them. The city park is decayed. The pool is dirty. And she drives down the lane where her house is. And it's a shell. It has a foundation, but it doesn't have anything else. Huh. She has an envelope that she's opening. Vision bought her a house, bought her a property, with a little note that said to grow old in. And so this was Vision's final wish, was for them to grow old together in this house, in a very Pixar Up sort of way. And then, of course, Wanda breaks again, a la Ultron. And this is how she creates the world and takes over everything. And she basically wills Vision into existence with the power of the stone from inside her. And this is why she can't let go. Because if she lets go and realizes what she's done, she'll lose Vision again for a third time. Everything's back to the way it was in episode 1. Back to the Dick Van Dyke Show.
What? Don't come home. We stay tonight.
And they sit down to watch TV. This has been light on plot but heavy on emotion episode. She looks up and she can see the can lights and everything now of the set. The director's chair with Agatha. Agatha is the live studio audience.
Bravo.
Now she can hear her kids. Oh.
I know what you are.
It's okay.
You have no idea how dangerous you are. You're supposed to be a myth,
Oops.
being capable of spontaneous creation. Here you are, using it to make breakfast for dinner. Let go of my children. Oh, yes, your children. Vision, this whole little life thing. This is chaos.
Agatha has the kids.
That makes you a Scarlet Witch.
There's the name drop. Agatha says that she doesn't even understand her own power, that she's a being of myth known as the Scarlet Witch. So there is an after credit scene or mid credit scene, whatever you want to call it, coming up here in a sec. But overall, a really good episode. Gave lots of backstory. We still don't have any idea how she created the fake Pietro or why she created him in that likeness. Unless I missed that somewhere. Yeah, Ben, so many emotions. Wanda's been the victim sort of the whole time, but we weren't sure how much control she had. And now we see she did actually create all this, but we're not sure how much Agatha's been influencing the whole thing. So should be coming up on the end credit scene here any second. Yep, here we go. Okay, we're at the shield the sword location outside of Westview.
About time. We took this thing apart and put it back together again a few times. Tried every type of power supply on this thing. When all we needed was a little energy directly from the source.
How do you say?
Uh-oh. They're taking energy from the drone. Wanda's leftover magic. Oh. Wow. And using it to power a new vision. Huh. Wow. Okay. So that was interesting. So Sword has rebuilt Vision and has now turned him back on. I don't see how that works without the stone, but they've somehow powered him back on. I have nothing for that really. And Agatha may actually be not necessarily be evil. She's always been a gray character, and she was Wanda's in the comic. She was Wanda's kind of mentor in the whole witching thing. But that was back when Wanda was Magneto's daughter. So it made more sense that she'd need a mentor of some kind to get her through her mutant powers. But this is completely off comic now. Saying that she's, well, unless they're calling her the Nexus. Remember in the last episode they ran the Nexus of that commercial, and Wanda is the Nexus of universes. So maybe they're actually are going to pull that in, and that's how they're going to talk about her. But that was a really good episode. I think a lot of people are going to be really mad that it had no real movement forward. It wasn't a filler episode because it was the same thing that TV shows do, and they want to show stuff and they do flashback episodes. Because this episode is called Previously On anyway. So yeah, that was incredible. But so anybody got anything to say? Any comments? What everybody think? Like Ben said, this was a crazy episode. Lots of emotions, and definitely worth a rewatch later when I actually get up and go to work and stuff later today. Not sure where we're going. There's only one episode left, so we have. I mean, I really hope this last episode is at least an hour. Yeah, exactly. I maybe Ben. I kind of saw that. I'm not sure what Agatha means by she's a myth. She's a legend. There's the missing book. We've got no information on the book. We got really no information about much of anything about Agatha in this whole thing. There was her flashback showing how she got all her powers. Yeah, Nate, that was a great episode. But I don't know. There's only a half hour left. There's a lot to put into a half hour. And we already know where part of it is, I think. We still haven't seen the part where Wanda is talking to Vision, and they're talking about wanting to save Westview. This is their home, which now we understand it really is. Why Vision bought this rundown house in New Jersey, I have no idea. But it is, in fact, their home. And Vision says, well, then let's fight for it. And we've seen that, unless that was just a cut scene that's supposed to throw us off. We still haven't seen that scene from the trailers. So hopefully this version of Vision isn't the weapon that, Sword wants it to be. I'd like to have one of these clandestine government groups that aren't dicks. When Coulson ran S.H.I.E.L.D., at least it didn't seem to be so evil. But every one of these government agencies, they always start out thinking they're doing good. They always end up doing evil somehow. Ronald Reagan once said, the worst thing you can hear from somebody is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And that's very much so in the Marvel universe. The government never helps, whether it's the normal government or S.H.I.E.L.D., who was really Hydra, or now Sword, who are just jerks. Yeah, and Ben, the last episode's got to be an hour long, because now she's broke, and maybe that'll allow it, because now she's of course broke the her sitcom thing. This episode was not a sitcom. It just had all the tropes of a flashback episode. So it's not like it was actually an episode of anything. It's still amazing to me that all the IP they're using, that is all Paramount and CBS based for the most part. Now they do own Malcolm in the Middle because that was a Fox show. But yes, well, Ben, I think that engineer was that army officer from the last episode. I honestly don't. I think they teased us and they rickrolled us into thinking we were going to get somebody good, and what we got was that army officer who brought her. All they were talking about was that stupid hexagon truck thing, and that was the scientist. Now the other thing is we still don't know what brought Agent Wu to um, Westview. He supposedly the only reason we're here at all is because he lost a witness, or nobody would even come to Westview. So what witness are they missing? And of course, this episode didn't have them or Darcy, so we got no movement on that front, no movement on Photon. You know, I really thought Rambeau. What happened to her this episode? Where's the other Pietrov? This episode just kind of left a whole bunch of holes. So Ben, I really hope it's an hour, at least a solid 50 minutes of TV. Because you're right, they have so much to cover still. It's amazing that you know um, we're at this point in the show, and we may be a half hour from the end, and we have dozens of questions that still haven't been answered yet. Yeah, all the other everybody in the town, any kind of questions we had about any of them, or she's the devil, all that, I think those are all red herrings. I think that they're loose plot ends that really aren't going to go anywhere. um I'm becoming less and less supportive that Bethesda's even in this. I'm not sure that they're going to move forward with him. Here we thought this was going to be the gateway into phase 4 or whatever it is, and I'm not sure if we're going to get more than a crack in the door. That's true, Nate, but look how far away those are. That's the problem, is that um, the Falcon and Winter Soldier comes up in a couple weeks, and that has to be after WandaVision. So, whatever happens in this last episode has already affected the MCU in some way. And we already know that Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are splitting up realities and stuff, but I really thought that this would be the thing that broke those realities. Now we've still got a whole episode left, but I don't know. I went from having complete faith in them to thinking, wow, this has got to get wrapped up pretty quick in a season finale. And if it's in a weird tropey way, it could be a season finale / end of show that everybody hates, which would be funny because that's the way Lost ended. That's the way Supernatural ended. That's the way Dexter ended. That's the way Game of Thrones ended. Yeah, but I'm not positive Agatha's really a villain. I think she's scared of Wanda's power. Um, Now, of course, killing the dog and all that makes her a villain, no matter what. But, um, last episode, she went from this mustache twirling villain at the end to this episode being like trying to figure out why Wanda has powers, where she got her powers, who taught her, what's her coven, all that kind of stuff. And Hayworth just needs to go away. I don't like him. Yes, Ben, that's exactly what I think. I think she might see somebody who's as powerful as she is, and she's worked since the 1700s to not be that powerful person who's manipulating world events or reality or whatever. And she said she was drawn here. Yeah. Well, the bunny likes to eat birds. That was spooky. Yeah, we don't know who Ralph is. Ralph could be a made-up character too. That's the thing. We don't even really know what is reality inside Westview. We thought we had a grasp on it, but it was weird to see the rundown town kind of like out of Cars, and then she comes in and she fixes the whole thing and makes it this TV world. Um, it'd be interesting to see how much the people of Westview remember about their world. Hey, WWE Figs, how you doing? Um, and trying to fix it once it goes back to normal, or do they just allow Westview to just kind of die off, which is what it looks like it's doing? The city is literally dying, and Wanda brought it back to life. Not necessarily through the best means, but um, you know, no, it still was not up. It dropped at midnight Pacific time, same as always. Um, but I couldn't get in for the first few minutes again, simply because I couldn't. It just kept saying that it was down. Yeah, and we're still not really sure how the fog of that worked, because obviously the cops who are from Eastview don't know that Westview exists. Well, if they're that close together, there would have been overlapping families, all kinds of stuff. Kind of like the Beauty and the Beast conundrum, where the town doesn't remember that the castle exists, and that all the people who worked there, who were their family and friends, you know, just disappeared out of their lives. Well, that's some pretty hefty duty magic there. And that seems to be what happened with Westview, is she kind of made a bubble, and the further away you got, like if they knew it, people in Kansas knew Westview, New Jersey exists. It was still on their maps. But as you got closer to Westview, people would forget it. And they just wander away, like the forest that surrounded the castle on Beauty and the Beast. They would just forget, and then they'd wander away. But Wu lives on the other side of the country, and he lost track of his witness, and that brought him there. Then all the craziness happened. He called Sword because he's dealt with the supernatural stuff before, with the Ant-Man, and so that brought us there. Yeah, yeah. She just blocked it out. Like every other trauma in her life, she just basically said no, and that was that. We still don't know what happened to the beekeeper, by the way. And in this episode, we didn't see the mailman, or at least I didn't notice him, because maybe he was one of the people in the background. But it's like I said, we wouldn't even be here if Wu didn't have someone in town who he was supposed to check on, and then they didn't check on him, and then he came, and that started the dominoes. Without that, she'd still be happily inside Westview, I think. Although, as tropey goes, the next episode should have really be a Christmas episode, but I don't think they're going to go for that far. Yeah, I looked for Dottie in the background of shots too, and I didn't see her, but unless, I don't think Dottie was that older woman who was sitting drinking coffee. That actress is not that old, so I don't think that was her. But we saw Norman, we saw the other guys on the backlot scenes. But I still think it's weird that Vision bought that house that had basically been destroyed, and just a foundation. Unless it's one of those things, it's a foundation to build our love on. kind of corny things. Was it? Wow, she looks really different with bigger hair. Um, I'll have to pay attention a little more carefully. I'm watching it in a small screen in the bottom, so I can watch it, see what you guys are saying, and still follow along. But it's, we still don't know where that Pietro came from. It was cool to see their backstory in the TV night and watching her and Vision basically Netflix and chill after the end of Ultron. But I don't know. So good episode, guys. Definitely stuff to build on. Lots of people, I think, will be going forward with this, and I'm sure there'll be, I have to work at 5 my time, so I'm not like these guys who get up early, do the review thing, and then sit down and make a new video with all the hidden Easter eggs and stuff. I just do not have the time for that. But I'm sure later today there'll be several different videos on talking about White Vision and his power streams and stuff. Yeah, Ben, I think there's just so much to wrap up, and it's I keep trying to think of tropes in television series that allow you to have an hour-long episode. And Christmas has always been a time where you're allowed to do longer episodes of sitcoms and stuff, or crossovers with other TV shows, like when Drew Carey and Roseanne and Grace Under Fire all went to Vegas together, or when they'd go to Disney World. So I keep trying to figure out tropes that would allow them to do an episode that's longer, but I think we're almost back in the real world. I almost think that this episode, the next episode, is going to basically break the hex when they push New Vision through. Remember, old Vision is still there. So is Wanda's Vision the person we saw talking to her about saving their home? And old Vision and New Vision are going to, fight. It'll be interesting to see how that all works. And you're right, Ben. A half hour is not enough time. And if this was a real TV show, it'd only be 22 minutes or 18, depending on how many commercials they shove into it. Yeah, Ben, I don't know. I think we're done with the TV tropes in a way. I think that this episode, the whole flashback thing, was the end of the TV bits. And I think we're going to get into the whole real world. How much her kids understand about the whole real world, I don't know. Vision will probably come down and stand right next to her at the beginning of the next episode and tell Agatha to let their kids go or else. So it could be that Agatha and her and Vision have to fight New Vision together. That would be another television trope where villains have to become friends with the heroes. So we'll see. But well, thanks for staying up or whatever. And time to hit the hay and try and get about 3 hours of sleep before. Oh yeah, and Pietro, I forgot about him. See, and Monica, I forgot. See how quickly I can miss things because they're not in one episode. And Darcy and Wu will be there too. Not meaning to rhyme, but So you guys have a good day. And got that 300th thing coming up for Silver Surfer. But I will see you all later.